There we go. Hi, everyone. This is Gary Wilson, and welcome to this week's live webinar for the Investor Agent Training Program for the Flipping Program and also the Buying Rental Program. And welcome, everybody, new students and veteran students. I appreciate you being here. And once again, we have Paul Koslow on, and Paul's going to demonstrate to you how you can very efficiently and affordably set up your own custom website. So everyone, if you're Keller Williams, it is, you should have already have a website, a free one through KW. Okay, and they all pretty much look alike. And this is a way for you to create your own to stand out from the crowd, particularly when it comes to working with investors. You can tailor it to focus on that particular group of clients. So, in any case, Paul, welcome aboard again. I know we appreciate you having you take your personal time to do this in off hours. Last week was pretty awesome. We got a lot of good feedback from it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to you. Thanks again, Paul, and welcome aboard.
Thanks, Gary. Okay, where I want to start with this is typically whenever you're going to set up your own website, you want to start with a domain. I mean, you can set the site up without a domain, but we're going to assume that everybody wants to. So I'm going to have to start from scratch here a little bit. Some people may have gone and registered their own domains before. Other people haven't, never been over to a site like GoDaddy, even though you see them every Super Bowl. But I want to start here. So in registering, you want to go over to GoDaddy.com. Up here is where you want to put in what you want to search for. So we're just going to say myrentals.com. I know this is going to be taken, but I'm going to type it in anyhow.
And the reason we're doing this, Paul, is because we want to, whatever name we want to use, we have to first make sure that it's available. That's why we're searching, right?
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And unless you, like, for me, I own my own domain with my name, paulkoslow.com. A lot of people will go that route. The one thing, I guess, to take into consideration whenever you have a domain and you're relying on search traffic to a website, that what you put in your domain definitely gives you an advantage in search engine rankings. So if you have terms like buying, selling homes, rentals, whatever it may be, those keywords are going to help you in the search engines, as opposed to also what you do to the website and to increase that. So it's something you want to take into consideration whether you are relying completely on your own marketing to get your domain out there, or you want people to be coming and finding you online. Now, you can see here, obviously, this has been taken. Just want to show you what comes up whenever something is taken. So I'm just going to add my rentals, and I'm going to do G2Y, anything here. Do a search again, and I'll see that is available. So at that point, you could click the select and start walking through the GoDaddy process. If you don't already have a GoDaddy account, then at some point in time before you actually check out, it's going to set up the account for you. Now, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Obviously, if you want the domain, you have to register a domain somewhere. There's two sides to setting up a website. One side of it is setting up and registering a domain. The other side is where you're going to host the website. I don't want to sound too simple, but every website that's out on the internet is hosted somewhere. So there's two parts to it. There's some free website hosting, which is a lot of shared web hosting, and there's paid hosting. We're going to take a look at eventually here a paid hosting scenario. So at this point, we know this is available. We can select this and go through everything and purchase it, and it's going to set up the account, and I know my website's in GoDaddy at this point. With that said, once the domain is registered and we start going into the realm of where are we going to host the website, that's where your options come in. Now, if you were to choose GoDaddy register, for example, here's their what we're going to do tonight as well. I mean, there's a couple options for setting up a website, whether you want to set up a free website, which is, going this route. You could set up a Wix page, which also has WordPress integration. I'm going to walk you through WordPress in this particular example. I know Wix is free, and for some people that's appealing. Oh, I can set up a free website there. But one of the downsides to it is Wix tries to make things seem like everything's simple and it's push and click, and in a lot of instances it's not really push and click, and you don't have quite the flexibility and freedom that you do whenever you're setting up on an independent website, as opposed to a free hosting website. So for this instance, I'm not going to go the Wix route. What I want to show you is setting up your own independent website with a hosting company. The hosting company I'm going to look at this is the one that we use here. This is the one that I set up my personal websites on. This is the one Gary has all our company websites, and it is 1-in-1, and that is 1in1.com. They also, as you can see here, they walk you through WordPress hosting. 1-in-1 also walks you through WordPress hosting. Comparatively, pricing, they're all pretty much the same. For example, 1-in-1, you can see they have a 12 months, 0.99 per month. Then after that, they'll all do this, how much they're going to actually charge you for it. But on average, with a hosting company like GoDaddy or a 1-in-1, basically what you're looking at is somewhere between $8 and $10 a month to host your website. Now, in the 1-in-1 scenario, whenever let's say you just select the basic website package, I'm going to select that. And you'll see here, and I'm not sure if GoDaddy does this or not. They very well may, but I know with 1-in-1 you get a free domain included with your basic package. So for getting things rolling here, you do the same thing. You type in here what domain name you're looking for. It'll do a domain check. Matter of fact, I'll just do, if it's still here, we'll do this one, see what 1-in-1 tells us. So obviously you can tell us it's available. I just want people to see what the next screen might be. So they're telling us it's available. We can register now. They also try, and a word of warning too with GoDaddy, and not so much 1-in-1, but GoDaddy used to be real bad at this. That once you selected this and you started moving forward, it was page after page after page of add-ons that they wanted to throw into it. Do you want to have this security? Do you want to have email added onto it? Do you want to have this, that? And originally, when they first started doing that, everything was already pre-selected, so if you did not uncheck what all their add-ons were, by the time you got to your cart, you were a little bit surprised because you thought you were buying a $11 domain name, and next thing you know, your bill's $50, $60, whatever it may be. Nowadays, GoDaddy is a lot better at that. They still have all the offers and all the add-ons that they tack onto it, but most of them are not pre-checked, so you just basically have to scroll down through the pages and go to the next and continue until you get checked out. Now back over 1-in-1, once you established an account here or you established one over in GoDaddy, they're going to set up, I'm not 100% sure on GoDaddy, but with 1-in-1, it's going to start the setup process for WordPress. If you weren't going in through this route, through their WordPress hosting portal, we'll say. Once you got into one-in-one, I'll bring this window over. So once you establish one-in-one, it's going to create your one-in-one account. I'll go right back out to the one-in-one home page. And if you were coming back here for the second time or returning or in the process coming here in general to order, you would hit your login. So once we hit and login up here, it's going to take over here, ask you for your customer ID and your password. This all gets mailed to you once you initiate and start your account. Once you have that, always put in some secure area on your computer where you're going to remember what your user ID and password is. Once you logged into there, this would be the next screen that you're going to see. And if your WordPress did not start installing automatically, what you'd want to do is go down here to App Center, and you can see here's a WordPress, Drupal, Joomla. Now these are also WordPress type applications that you could use as well, but we're just going to look at WordPress in general. Once you clicked on this, it would basically set up your WordPress website, and eventually you would select your login pass to get into the website. Let me see if I can find the window.
Hey, Paul, while you're doing that,
sure.
We have a question came in from Melanie. Hi, Melanie. So she's asking, what's the difference between being hosted or not?
Well, hosting has to be done somewhere regardless. Again, every website that's out there, whether it's a Keller Williams site, any domain is hosted somewhere. Now, I'm not quite sure if the question reverts back to maybe the Wix end of things. I'm not sure. Even here, your website's technically hosted, but you're just hosted under the Wix domain. So I'm hoping that answers the question, but every site, no matter what, has to be hosted somewhere. And 8-9 times out of 10, if you're going to be paying a hosting fee in order to have your website live on the internet. Maybe in certain scenarios where you have maybe a Comcast account, I think Comcast does that, where especially if it's a business account where they give you a web hosting account and you log into there, and that's kind of a different scenario. But that's also a possibility. But again, it's still being hosted. It's being hosted with Comcast. It's being hosted with GoDaddy. It's being hosted with one-in-one, whatever it may be.
Yep. Now, I think the ones I use, they're all on GoDaddy. Is that correct?
Correct. We register everything through GoDaddy. That's where I have all my personal ones. I used to go through Network Solutions in a couple different places, but at one point in time I decided that I'm just going to consolidate them, and I kind of gave in and said, let's go with GoDaddy. I'm not typically a jump on the big guy for any particular reason, especially when it comes to domains. But once I got in here and saw how GoDaddy's interface was, it's pretty easy, and it's pretty easy walkthrough for anybody. Even, I've been doing this for 18 years, probably 15 or involving internet, and GoDaddy it's got a nice clean interface for registering, so that's why I'm going through them now.
Yeah, and I can tell you, for anybody online here, I can tell you too, years ago, before even you, Paul, I did my own too, and it was probably the easiest platform to navigate. Even if you're a non-techie person, I found it to be pretty user-friendly. They actually walk you through step by step, so it's pretty neat, and obviously very, 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 very affordable. It's very inexpensive to use hosting on GoDaddy, And they have a lot of tools. I mean, they have tremendous tracking and measuring tools. It's amazing. all the bells and whistles you get just because you sign up with them as your hosting platform.
I'm going to go back to this one here, Gare. Once this is set up, clicked in WordPress, I'm going to jump forward a little bit because the only screen I'm really missing here is your login screen for WordPress, which you set up in the process. And I'll give you an example here. I set up this one here under a subdomain. I didn't really need to set up a full domain. This is what's called a subdomain. Obviously, we are myinvestmentservices.com, and what I did was I created what's called a subdomain, which is WP-WordPress, short for WordPress-class.myinvestmentservices.com. To go into that a little bit further, once you do have myinvestmentservices.com, you can set up under one domain via a subdomain. That's basically all I did here. We have 4 or 5 different WordPress sites that we have up and running, and they're all set up under subdomains. With that said, if you wanted to set up different websites to attract general for general real estate, or whether it's something that you want to do just specifically for investor interaction, you can set up multiple WordPresses under one domain. So I guess one of my points here I'm trying to make is this is our hosting domain right here, the myservices.com. We pay a monthly fee to host this domain, but yet we have multiple WordPress accounts all running under the subdomains. So you're not paying a separate another $10 or whatever it may be for every WordPress site that you might want to put out there. Does that make sense, Gary?
Yeah. Yep. Hey, we have another question too. If you have a domain name attached to the website, does that mean it is hosted? So domain name attached to the website. I don't know that necessarily means it is hosted. That's just the domain name has to be registered with a host in order for it to be hosted. Does that sound right, Paul?
Well, I guess the answer to that is if you actually have a domain name registered and it is pointing to a website that you created, that website is hosted somewhere. That's one leads to the other, and they're connected together.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure exactly what they're asking there, but if the domain is connected to the website, then the website is technically hosted somewhere.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Paul.
Okay. Once you log into your WordPress backend, I think we'll use this one here. This is basically what you're going to see once you get logged into your backend. So this is a look at the backend here, and what I want to do is go through adding some pages, showing you how to use plugins, how to change themes, a few different things I have lined up to show, as well as connecting and utilizing YouTube, Facebook. With that said, we're just going to move forward here. So this is going to be a dashboard that you see. Now, this page over here is the actual WordPress website. So again, we're looking here. If you went up to here, and I'll just do this way, I'll click. I'm holding shift down, by the way. Obviously I have multiple tabs open. If I moused over here and I held control down, it's going to show me the website in another tab right next to it. If I would hold that up and I hold my shift down and click visit website, it's going to pop it up in a completely new window. That's just a little tip, because I do that all the time. I keep the website over here so that whenever I'm working in the back end and I save something or I make a change or add a new post, I have another window over here that I can just refresh and see if the changes took appropriately or everything's still good.
Okay.
Now, with that said, up here are sample pages that I've put together. These are here necessarily, unless, and we'll get to that, you're using a different particular theme, but these are all pages that I created. So, okay, and again, this is the stripped down, most basic version of WordPress. So, and I realize that it's nothing pretty looking, but we're gonna get to that. I want to start from the beginning and show you the guts of it, and then we'll get to improving it. So this, I think the only sample page was listed here whenever this came up. This wasn't here. This was a sample post I put in here. The default for WordPress is always going to be hello world, and this is a default post that's put into it. Now, these within WordPress, these are pages. This is a post, and they're handled in two different ways. If I go back over to dashboard, I'm going to see pages, and I see my posts.
Okay.
So, in order to do an About Me page, I'll click over here. I just have sample in here with dummy copy in it. I went into here. I went to pages, and make sure I'm going to go this route. Pages, and I did add new. Now you can see here are the pages that are currently here. So About Me, Facebook posts, we're going to get to that. Sample page, which was a default, and a video page. So we're just going to do a quick, I'm going to have to speed it up, I guess, a little bit. I'm going to click Add New on Pages, and we're going to do Contact. And down here, I'm just going to put phone 5-555. Then now just do X, Y, Z. If you're familiar with working with Word at all, and I'm sure a lot of people are, it's basic. WordPress, the posts and the pages are just like working WordPress. So if I select those and I want to change the size of these, or I want to change the color of these, I'll change that to red. I'll select again. You have to select anything that you want to change. I want to change the size of it. A lot of times, I'll go contact here again. I want to make that a heading on the page, so I'm going to change that to a heading 1, which will be big. Heading 2, basically, as you see these here, it makes it smaller, it makes it bigger. And things like here, bulleted list, numbered list, 111, 222, 333. I select that, and bulleted list, it's going to change it. So basically, if you've worked Word before, you know what's going on here. The only difference here, and I'm going to just do this now, if I wanted to add a picture down the bottom or the top of it, let's say I wanted to add a picture of myself or yourself, we're going to use this Add Media here. Now here's my media library where I've uploaded some things currently. I'm just going to select this, and I'm going to go Insert into Page, and it's going to put that picture up there. Obviously it's not a person, but it's just a dummy picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Publish. So our contact page is created.
And the thing is that I know once you do this, like once you do your first page, you're just repeating. In other words, you're using WordPress to create the content for your website, page by page,
Correct. Now, if I'm going to come back over to here, I'm going to hit refresh. There's a couple ways you can do this, but this is why I like having two windows open. Oh, I didn't do that yet. What you have to do here, for every time you make a page now, what we need to do is get this up into our menu here.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to click on Appearance, Menus. Now, over here, it realizes I just made a new page here. Here's our ones that are already created, and here's our menu over here. So I'm going to select Contact, and I'm going to say Add to Menu. So if I want to contact, let's say I wanted it up here, it's going to change my order over here. So it's basically just for ordering, changing orders. And also, if you can see whenever I drag this over here, see how it kind of moves it underneath contact,
Okay.
slightly over? If I put it there, now it's going to be it's going to be a drop down under contact.
Correct.
So if you had whatever, yeah, a location, this is how you would put your sub pages under one main menu page. So I'm just going to throw this back here. I'm going to hit Save Menu. Once it updates, I'm going to come back here, reload that. Now we have our contact page. And that's everything we created. It's pretty straightforward and simple. Now I'm going to come back to here, and I'm going to go back to our main page. And again, these are posts, and they're handled differently than pages.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, your blog posts. So I'm going to go back to here now. If I wanted to add a new post, this is going to show me my posts. I'll go to Add New. I'll try to make this as simple as possible to speed things up. New post 2. I'll just add copy. Just going to copy and paste this.
One of the things I want people to recognize with what you're doing, Paul, is, it wasn't too long ago when I used to try to do this myself, and I used the word try because I was somewhat successful. We had to actually code a lot in HTML, and even if you didn't know HTML, at least you know how that you need to know how to find HTML code and copy it to create your content for your website. So WordPress just made it so much more accessible and easy for non-technical people like myself to create content for your website. So now you can literally build a website from scratch using WordPress, doing it page by page. And the beautiful thing about one-in-one is you only pay as you go. So you literally build one website, you build one page, you're essentially up and running. Then you build your second page, and you build your site as you go. And if you want to add additional sites later on, you can pay for one-in-one, which is the tool, the basic tool we're using. So it's not like you have to spend a lot of money doing this. This is very, very inexpensive. And if you just replay this webinar a couple of times and take notes, you'll get the gist of what Paul's saying, and you can practice it without spending a ton of money and build your own webs. Basically, you customize it yourself, not have to pay a lot for it. It doesn't have to be the fanciest website in the world. It's not like your Sony or General Motors or you're an independent contractor, you're a real estate agent and or investor. So your needs are very precise and focused and targeted, and you want to provide content that's meaningful and relevant to your clients, your customers, your investors, whatever the case is. And you can do that by using these tools and not have to spend a lot of money. And this is great because you don't have to know HTML. I know sometimes you can be exposed to it, but it doesn't mean you have to learn it,
Yeah, with that said, Gare, I mean, for the techies like myself, again, here's your visual version of what we're looking at. Now, if I switch over to here as a coder, this is what I'm seeing. So technically, in a lot of instances, I have to go in if I really want to super tweak or add or make things simpler, because a lot of times I like working in the code version as opposed to the visual. So that's visual, that's code. Now I've already published this page here, so I'm going to go back to here. I have to refresh this. Now you can see my new post 2 here is up above. So one of the other points here, when I said posts and pages are different, once I create and I update, or actually I hit publish on my posts, I'm just going to go back here again, new page, because I've already updated this. I just want to make it clear that we had to do an extra step whenever we wanted to add a page to it, because we had to go over to the menu and add it into the menu. Whenever you're doing your posts, you don't have to do anything but hit publish. And if you, a lot of times if you want to do a post, you can go over to a separate website. I don't have a real good example. I'll just grab this. We'll see what this does. I'm going to copy this. Let's say I'm on a different website. Oh, I want to repost this, or this is part of content that I want to reuse. Once I grab that and I come over and I paste that, as you can see, it held that bullet points. If there would have been pictures above that, I could basically go to any website I wanted to, grab. Just all I'm doing is grab. I'm left clicking and dragging over this in order to copy it. And if there was an image up here that I wanted to add into it, and here, if I grab that, it's going to grab it so that you could just go over to here, repaste it in. I guess one of my points is it's holding the formatting. So if you see something that's nice on a page, it's going to grab it, it's going to put it in here. It already did the bulleted list for me because it recognized that I was grabbing that from a bulleted list on another website. So I'm just going to do new post 3. Again, I'm going to publish this as a post. So once that's done, I know when I come back over here and refresh this, I'm going to have my other new post. Now again, whatever you're posting is going to be different. I'm trying to show the setup and the basics for how to get your content out there, because everybody's content is going to be different. Now I'm going to show you. Let's go over to this one here. Now this is a video page. Now last week we went over using YouTube, and what I did was I added a plugin. I'm going to cover plugins at the moment. So this next couple things are going to go over a couple different plugins. Plugins are listed down here. I click on plugins, and that's one of the beauty things about WordPress is you can pretty much find a plugin to do whatever you want out there. If you want to add a calendar to your event calendar to the website, a particular fancy gallery, a lot of it runs just on plugins. You don't have to do all the coding, you don't have to do all the work. It just looks nice whenever you use it. Now I went and I searched plugins. Let's see if I still have that one. I don't think I have that one open. Here's the plugins page. So what I did from here, let's say I want to add let's say I still wanted to add this. I didn't have this YouTube plugin. I'm going to go to add new. It's going to come up with a page that has sample recommended. I think over here under recommended, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do search plugins. I'm going to do YouTube. And I think this was like the one I used was the #1 that was out there. And a lot of times I look at this. Here's 100,000 people have downloaded this and installed it in their WordPress. Here's their rating, 172 reviews. And you can look over here. You see there's 1,000 active users, 10,000 active users. I take that excuse me, into consideration when I'm looking at plugins. Obviously, if I'm looking at something that's got 1,000 active installs, I know this is either new or it's not very good, regardless of what these stars are here. So I a lot of times will go to the more details and be a little bit picky about what I'm using. This one I've used before, so I happen to know I was fine with it. If I want to more details,
So these plugins, to me, the big benefit was always you didn't have to create the content you just plug these plugins, they're already there, and you can have, I mean, there's all kinds of things. There's shopping carts, there's plugins for different types of blogs. Obviously, you see YouTube here. Um, there's a number of things you can do, and it literally you plug in this block of code, and the feature or functionality that you're looking for is already there. It's installed, and many times these plugins are, it seems like most of them are free, from what I remember. So yeah, have you ever paid for a plugin, Paul? Uh-oh. Hey, Paul, did we lose audio? Let me check here. Hey, Paul, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. Um, let me do a quick test here. Okay. Hang on, guys. Let me. I don't think Paul can hear. Let me just double check something here real quick. We lost you on audio. Oh, Paul, is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Not sure what happened, but you went quiet there for a second.
Give me 1 second here.
Okay. And I can still see the screen. I can see you working. And all of a sudden we lost your audio, but mine seems to be working okay. So let me double check here, go back. And then when you're ready, I've got another question here for you.
Can you hear me now, Gary?
Yep, I can hear perfectly.
Okay, so I guess something kicked out of my headset here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've got a question for you, Paul. The question is, should I add pages to my KW website, or should I build a new website? And I'll start off with that one, Paul. So, Melanie, this is Gary.
Go
ahead. You definitely want to make use of anytime you get a free website, go ahead and use it. You actually can get 2 of them through Keller Williams, your e-edge site, your e-agency also, and they're pretty good for the general consumer. Like you can provide, you can have your listings posted up there. You can provide search capabilities for searching for properties, and you can grab a number of their own, KW's own, I would call them loosely plugins, but they're basically website features that you can grab for free because they're already developed. The challenge is all 134,000 agents are all doing the same thing. And you want to kind of stand out a little bit from everyone else. So what a lot of veteran agents are doing, Melanie, and for everyone else on the call here, is they're using the free websites through KW, and they are also creating their own websites using the same kind of technology that Paul's showing you tonight. And I know agents who have, 6, 10, 12 different websites going on at once. I think that's a little bit much, particularly if you're sort of new to the business. But you definitely want to have what's given to you for free, because there's a lot that you can use there for your general business. It's just you're not going to get a lot out of it. You're not going to get a lot of output and throughput through your KW website. It's going to allow you to take advantage of features and functions. Okay, but when you customize yourself, you can do a lot of your own promoting, SEO, things like that, that'll allow you to target specific groups of people. Like if you're in Orlando, Florida, and you want to work with, let's say you're a Russian immigrant, and you want to work with Russian immigrants who invest in Orlando, Florida. You can more easily do that with a site that you create yourself, like what we're doing here, okay, than you can with a general purpose site. So that's hopefully should give an example, Melanie, of what we're talking about. I would start off by making sure your free one's up and running, And then once it is, you've got your contact information on there, and you're using all the free features and benefits. And you started in on the investor game, and you figured out who your niche is, and you're starting to do workshops and things like that. At that point, you can use this to create your own custom website and do your own custom targeted marketing. Okay, that's the real difference. So keep that in mind, and I hope that helps to answer your question too. So, okay, Paul, back to you.
Yeah, that's fine. And I guess one of the other things too is that keep in mind that whenever you're branding yourself and coming up with different ideas, again, back to these plugins, it's pretty much unlimited as to what you can do out there to find a plugin to do something that's going to, again, like you said, set you aside, make you unique, and provide more entertaining content.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back to here now. So we found this, I clicked and I installed it. It becomes part of my menu over here. So I'm going to go over to let's say you want to do a post. We'll do that.
Okay.
We're going to do the same thing again. I want to show you how you can, and this ties back in what we did last week. Let's say you just created a new YouTube video, you post it up on your channel, and you want to get it onto your blog or your website. So what we're going to do is we're going to do post add new. And since I've installed this YouTube plugin, it becomes part of where my posts are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the YouTube button. I've already pre-saved the location of the YouTube video. Let's just pretend this is the link to your YouTube video. I'm going to right-click and copy on that, put that down. Now, I'm going to do search for video. What I'm doing this here is I want to get my newest video that I did in YouTube onto my blog/website. So I'm going to go search for video. All I got to do is paste the URL in. I click search. It automatically goes out and finds it. And again, here, Gary, getting back to what you said, here's Customize Pro. Gives you more options as to what you can do with this. We're using the light version of it. For example, this plugin, if it was really beneficial to you, I think it was like $30 to buy the Pro version.
Okay.
So basically what it's going to do for you is paste this embedding code into this post. So I'm going to label this new video. Again, this is a post, so all I have to do now is publish it. I'm going to go back to the website. We're on our video page. I'm going to click this. This will be our home button per se. And now here's our new post with our video in it.
Excellent. And
That's
by
how
the way,
you can.
hey, by the way, Paul. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There, Gare?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Good. You're just cutting out on me.
Yeah, the plugins.
That's how you can.
The plugins you're choosing, as I recall, most of those plugins are actually free. When you're using WordPress and you're building your pages, those plugins you don't have to pay for them, right?
No, don't get me wrong. What we're using is a free plugin. I'm just using the light version of this one in general.
Right.
I could buy the Pro if I wanted to, but I haven't purchased this. I'm just showing you what you can do with the light version. I mean, and there are other ones that can do similar things that are 100% free, but this free version, or the light version, quote unquote, is great. I mean, you can't get much simpler than that. Just click one button, well, basically two buttons we clicked in one paste, and it's put on your website for you. Doesn't get much easier than that.
Awesome.
Now, on sticking plugins for another minute, and I'm going to move on to themes.
Okay.
What do we have here? 749. Okay, I'll go over here, and again, I'm trying to tie social media into this. So what I did was I made a page This isn't a post, it's a page, but this is your latest Facebook feed. So basically what I did was I created a connection between the My Investment Services Facebook page and the blog/website. So once I do that, this goes out, tracks the Facebook page, and reposts everything in here. So you don't have to do anything. It automatically goes out and does it for you. Once you can set it to every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes. I particularly, because I'm just playing with this, I would set for every hour to go out and find out if there's a new post on the My Investment Facebook page. So this is an example of an automated object/system where all you have to do is install it, throw a little bit. We'll go back over to here. I'm going to go to my pages, and we'll take a look at Facebook posts. And all I had to do was paste one little bit of content. Just by pasting this is called what's a short code. So just by pasting this, and I got the short code from my plugin page. I'm not going to go there at the second, but all I had to do was go to my plugin page once I installed the Facebook plugin and made a new page and just pasted this here. So that controls and creates all this. It's great. And I'm going to go over to that one because I want everyone to know how to tie the social into it. I'm going to go back over to plugins.
Okay.
And once this plugin is installed, again, I did the same thing that we did before. I went over to, I don't know if I still have a window open or, yeah, here. I just went into search plugins and I typed in Facebook. And once I did that, hit enter. On the first page, it was this one here, as a matter of fact. So you can see I can't install because it's already installed. So all I did was I clicked installed, then it went over. Once you install that, it give you an option you would click on activate. Once you activate, it's going to take you over to your plugins page.
Okay.
And then I can see it here. So some plugins you want to, advanced plugins are usually going to have a settings attached to it. For example, YouTube, it doesn't have a settings here because once it sets itself up, and when we were on our post page, all I had to do was click on the YouTube button. Everything's handled from there. But this is an example of installing a plugin that you want to set up the settings in. Now for here, all I had to do was plug in the Facebook ID, which is basically our ID is facebook.com/myinvestmentservices. So all I had to do was paste My Investment Services into here. It automatically knows to go to look for the rest of it, facebook.com/blah blah blah. It makes the connection. I told it to add the last 15 posts to display. I told it to go out and check every 1 hour. I could have changed that to minutes. I could have changed it to days. Then I click Save Changes. Once I did that, where did I get the short code from? There's a bunch of other customizations that you can do to it. I want to take a look at them. No, it's not under here. And get back out to the general one. Here it is, right here, displaying your feed. So once I made my changes here, click Save. Then all I had to do is displaying your feed. You could display it in a post or you could display it in a page. All I did was highlight that. I copied it. And again, if I go back over to pages, and if I'm just setting up my Facebook feed page for the first time, I would have clicked Add New. instead of clicking Add New, we're going to click on the Facebook page post here. And all I did was, it's already on my clipboard, all I did was just paste that there and click Publish. At this point, it would be Update. So it's like 3 steps. Install, go over, configure it a little bit, grab this little piece of short code, paste it in here, and update it. Now, so, I mean, basically, that's all I'm going to go over on plugins. Again, the plugins are endless. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of plugins. Basically, anything you want to do with your website, yeah, you'd be able to add to it.
But if you've got YouTube and Facebook, I mean, that at a minimum, if you had that, you'd be okay. And that's the bulk of where your activity is going to come from anyways, you know?
Mm-hmm. Now, we're going to cover the next section because, again, I realize that we're adding stuff to this here, but it doesn't look all that great. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's bland. So what we're going to do now, and I'm just going to go backwards a little bit and say that, you know, this is working off a very basic theme, very basic. It's actually the default theme for WordPress. So what I did is I went ahead and I went, okay, I want to change this. I want to make it look better. So I'm going to go over to Appearance, and I'm going to go to Themes. Now, by default, there's only a few in here. There is this one, which is the one that we're using right now. This one here, 2015 and 2014. These are 3 simple, get you off the ground themes that you can use. Now, what I did was I want something better than this, so I'm going to go to Themes, Add New. And again, this is just your plugins. Depending on what you want for a plugin, you search on that. Depending on for a theme, you can search on that to a certain degree. These things are the feature themes actually down in this one already. You can see it's already installed. I can go over to Popular, or I can search on, you know, I'll just go down, I'll just look for something that is, obviously, if you run a personal blog, you can install a Mac type thing, just like this magazine. It's not a fit for you. Something like fit. And it will be on here.
You know, something else, Paul, while you're, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Okay. Oh. Hey, Paul, some of the folks were saying they lost you again. If you can hear me, I'm not sure why, because I'm okay. But check your audio, Paul, and I just sent you a text message. If you can see if you're okay on your end. I'm checking my end, Paul. Yeah, I'm okay here.
1 second.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Okay. You know, it's funny. Last week we had absolutely no trouble at all. I wonder what the wonder if it's the server.
You know, I think I might be hitting the button on. I think my controller might be getting between me and my chair and kicking me off.
Oh, okay.
I'm holding my hand here.
In the past, in the last year, we've actually had three nights where there were technical challenges, and we were able to figure out in each case what the culprit was. Sometimes it was the wireless server at the location I was at. But in any case, can
you hear me now, Gary?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
And let's see.
You should be back on.
Let me check messages here. Yeah, everybody says you're okay now. So.
Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to jump forward here. So basically, I showed you where to get to where themes are. Here's an example well, here's ones that were installed. So all I did was click install, and it just adds them to, we'll just call our theme gallery. Now, one of the other nice things about WordPress, if you're not familiar, is that I can change my theme out anytime I want and have a brand new, unique look. So we're going to take a look at this now. I'm going to go back over to here. We're at our plain look. I can go to live preview. I'm just going to go ahead and activate this one.
Okay.
And hopefully it saved my preset changes that I made. So I'm going to hit refresh. Okay, yep. So now you can see it didn't keep some of my changes. But you can see we did definitely have a different look at it. Now, from here, if I went back into here, I know that I can add images and whatnot to the top of this to make it even a little bit nicer. But I'm already liking the look of this, the way this is laid out a lot better. I like where the menu is here. We get an image up here. It's going to make me even happier. So I'm going to go back to here, and I want to go to customize on this one.
Hey, Paul, I'm not sure, but I think we may have lost you again on audio. Video's okay, but audio, yeah, I'm not hearing you on audio. Oh, there you are. Okay. So I like the different look there. I like the fact that you can choose different themes. One of the things I want to emphasize to everybody online here is, if you ever wonder how or why other agents sometimes create unique websites per property, it's because it is a kind of a nice selling feature when you're getting listings. But this is what they're doing. They're just simply going into WordPress and creating essentially a new page. I mean, you can create a unique website if you want, but it's really just a page that you can customize, you know, with written material, with video, YouTube videos. And a great example would be, let's say you did go through an investment property and you were walking through physically showing the property. At the same time, you should be reciting some of the financials. You can then come to your own custom website, go into WordPress, create a unique page for that address. And that's something that Paul actually showed you earlier. It was a property down in Delray Beach, Florida. And in the context, you could put the financial data and then let them see the video. So they have it, they hear it audio, they see it video, and they also can read the written material. Awesome technique for promoting properties. And if you don't have your own, again, you can promote a HUD property. So, anyway, say, Paul, you back online? Audio? I can hear something, but I'm not. There's no real voice coming through. It's sort of like background noise.
Can you hear me now, Gary?
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Okay. I had to change to my laptop. I should be good from here.
Yeah, you know what you can do? Just call in on your phone, you know, if you're having trouble. But I can hear you now.
You can hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to do my laptop. Okay, I'm going to go back to here again now. Again, all we did was change the theme, and as you can see, I think this is a nice improvement. This theme already has comments built into it. I consider this a one step up, you know, into making the website better. We're going to go back over to here. I'm going to X out of here. I haven't tried this before. At this point, if this
messes something up, so be it. But actually want to see what this theme does. I'm going to activate this one. Again,
Okay.
if for some reason it doesn't work properly, I just go back and turn it off. It's all.
So when you're doing a what if scenario, when you're checking out the different themes, for example, it's not really published yet. You're not really live. You're just seeing what it looks like as if it was live, right?
Well, I could see what it looks like if it was live. In this case, I just went ahead and I just activated it. I was fine with doing that. I'm even liking this even more. Now, I know, for example, I lost my header, but I can go and re-add that.
Okay.
Just like I did for the last theme. And this is getting somewhat nitpicky when I say, for example, out of 3 that I looked at, I like the look of these. I like the fonts better. It seems real nice, crisp, and clean, the way it's handled. And at this point, I would probably stick with this one, but I'd go back in and I'd customize it. I know it has a lot more features than the other one I showed you, so this would be like another step up as far as theme goes. And theme comes with a better theme, a little bit more complex. As you can see now, I have even more things. I have options to put a slider in. So, like you see on a lot of websites, the header with the images that slide across, that kind of thing. I'm going to go back over here to add new image. I'm going to throw this one in. It's probably not going to fit perfectly, but I'm just going to, that's where I want to crop it. Let's crop it right there. It's not sized right, but you guys get the gist of where I'm going with it. So if I was happy with this one, if I'd stick with it, I'd get a header that actually fit a little bit better. So the Facebook page looks like. I'm sure you could probably add a header in the slider to each one of the pages. I just kept that one. Again, you can see it's somewhat different. We didn't do much customizing this, but I just came across that there's levels of themes, and again, with the higher, more advanced themes, also comes some might be a little bit harder to maneuver around, but I wouldn't even say it harder. I would just say that there's more options that you have available. Again, it's still pretty simple. I can go in and change layout styles, box, Y. And you can go in and mess around as much as you want to. Just see that now that took it to a full 100% wide page instead of having it restricted to a particular width. I'm going to go back out of here. I published that, so I'm going to reload this. I would have to go back in and change the header again. But if I wasn't happy with any of those, and I went back to the original, I guess this one. Yeah, I'm going to reactivate that one. Go back, reload. And you can see we're back to the simple basic layout. Now, with that said, one other thing I'm going to bring out is there's a ton of free themes up there. Some of them look really nice. If you go to the next level even, you can go over to, this is a website / company that I get a lot of themes from, a lot of graphics, a lot of all types of, they have, you scroll down, they have I got a lot of windows open. This is a company called ThemeForce. It's part of the Envato market where they have, you can get video clips from audio clips, photos, and themes. For me, this is a playground of stuff that I buy all the time. You can see under ThemeForce, they have WordPress, and they have a ton of, we'll just go to popular themes. These are all themes. Now these are, again, they're paid themes. If you're looking for a particular look and feel to what you want to do, you can go over here and purchase these. I'll just look at one real quick and let me see if I can find something that's drag and drop WordPress. I'll just look at this. You know, there's hundreds of themes in here. A lot of them are priced around this price range for WordPress. But once you go in here, multi-purpose, I can go into Live Preview. It's going to open up another window and it's going to show me what this particular theme looks like. And it gives a little like the next layer on in complex in design. And we've looked at these here. I mean, yeah. So, for example, this thing you might be paying $40, but for example, it has one, you know, has all these multiple versions of the theme that you can use. So you are buying one theme per se, but there's different versions of the same theme, so that you're actually getting, with this one, you're getting 15, 20 different themes to use. So I'm not going to go into this too much, but I just wanted to make people that, you know, aside from going into the free area from within here and doing your search, that there is the option if you're looking for something specific to go out to somebody like, and this is ThemeForce.net. You type in, if you Google ThemeForce, it's always going to come up as #1. So with that said, Gary, I mean, I don't want to go into too much more than what I have. We covered setting, you know, we covered the domains. We covered, you know, choosing a hosting company, initially getting the WordPress theme running on the hosting company, getting into the WordPress account. We've gone over adding posts, adding pages, adding plugins, and changing the themes. And I mean, that's a pretty good beginner's course. Did I lose you, Gary?
Oh, sorry. What I was saying is, one of the, you know, these are all recorded, so once the students download this tomorrow, they can rewatch it, and when they rewatch it, because it's a replay, they can stop and start and take notes as they go along, #1. But #2 is, for those who are on and listening, you can stop it and split your screen and go and execute the step that Paul's going over as you go through the replay of the webinar. So tonight was simply to get this recorded, show you what we're doing. Now that it's recorded, you replay it, and you can actually execute this as you go through the recording the next day or the day after, whichever the case is. And just start small, keep it small, just get your first page up first. And then you can maybe add a page a day, every day for the next week, and after that, just add as necessary. When you get listings, or if you want to promote HUD listings, you can create unique pages for each one of those. And also, if you have a particular niche group, like the example I gave earlier of you know, Orlando investors who speak Russian, something like that, you can customize particularly for that group. And it's an amazing way to market and promote and niche within a particular group. So that's what I want to do to wrap things up, But let me check for questions here, Paul. And I think we're all okay in questions. I appreciate you coming online again to do this. And everybody else, we're getting some thank yous coming in. So thanks again, Paul, for
No
doing this.
problem.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk again. But any final thoughts you want to share with anybody?
No, I wasn't sure if I cut out on you earlier before or not whenever I was trying to wrap things up. Yeah, if anybody gets stuck, watch it over. Take things one at a time. You know, I've been doing this for quite a while, so I go maybe go a little bit quick, but just do baby steps. You know, like Gary said, add a page, add a post, and take it from there.
Yep. Okay.
And if anyone has any questions, you know, send them over to Gary. Gary will get them over to me, and I'll be happy to help anybody out.
Okay. Well, I certainly appreciate it, and we're getting some thank yous again, so I appreciate your willingness to help and you know, doing an hour for the team, actually an hour plus. So in any case, everybody have a wonderful night. Next week's webinar will be, I believe, Monday night the 25th. Let me double check here. Yep, Monday night the 25th, and I'll be hosting that one again. And I'm going to start in on what we call the classroom scenario. I might hold off another week. Next week, what I might do is a review of some of the marketing campaigns we've gone over for the last 2 months and explain how we tie some of these together. We did a little bit of that tonight, but I want to show you how you can execute the marketing campaigns in a certain sequence that gets you the best results. So look for that. And again, thanks again, Paul. And for everyone, I hope you have a wonderful night, and we'll look forward to seeing you again. Okay, bye-bye.